have loaded the now loading screen, and ladies and gentlemen, here we are for episode 87 of Talking Shop with the Boss and the Box.
Oh, is it episode 87 or is it episode 807? I don't know.
Nope, it's only 87, Brandon.
Oh.
Only 13 more to go till I actually pin your ass down and make you do Power Hour. By the way, not to get caught up in the run of things, but the introductions are so important. I am one half of your humble, heavyweight, handsome co-host duo, the Lunchbox. That is one word, capital L, capital B. Thank you very much. Joined, as always, by my handsome, heroic, Herculean, habitual hawker of haberdashery, Brandon the Boss Blacker.
Yeah, I'm the boss. What's up?
You act like you're the one that got their teeth worked on today, sir.
Wait. You got your teeth worked on? Wait, you have teeth still?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see those pearly whites. Let's see. Ah! Okay, so what did they do to your teeth, Mr. Lunchbox?
Well, fortunately, it was just a deep cleaning, which is really fucking some shit. Like, you know, they numb you up like normal, the shots of Novocaine, all that good stuff. And then they take, like, this water drill and, like, poke it under your gums and, like, shoot it in there, forcing up all the bullshit from years of buildup, and then they scrape it out.
They scrape it out.
Not only that, but they also did a couple fillings, which I wasn't completely numb. But so my dentists are these really adorable old, like Sayona. Like I see your comment on my computer, but I'm not seeing it on the chat box, so that's kind of weird. But anyway. So, like, they're like, okay, let us get ready for you. And they're really cool accents, really good at what they do, wonderful, cool people. But this was weird. So they pull out this machine that's like a reverse shower head looking thing. And it's like a vacuum that sucks the droplets out of the air. Because if you think about it, a dentist would be the first person to get COVID.
Yes.
You know, just from all the spittle and whatnot flying around the drilling.
You said spittle.
I did. Not only that, but they had on these biosuits. Like, have you ever seen Outbreak?
Yeah.
You ever seen E.T.?
Yeah.
Just like that shit. So, like, I look up and all of a sudden I got these old Hungarian folks, like, in these full-blown biosuits with the hoses running up the back, and, like, they're over there straight up Darth Vader and I'm and then I've got this reversed showerhead looking vacuum thing in, like, right over here in my ear, fucking being like, and then they're over here trying with their Hungarian accents being like, does that hurt? Can you feel pain? Okay, stop biting down on the water sucker thing. Like, okay, you've got to listen to us. I'm like, I can't fucking hear you.
Oh my God, that's but you survived. That's the important thing. You survived the experience.
Clearly. I did, but yeah, you're the one over here acting all forlorn and shit.
Okay, so I don't know. It's been a hell of a day, but talking about dentists makes me go all the way back and just think about my orthodontist. So I had braces for 4 years. And, yeah, I mean, my alignment's fucked up, but my teeth are nice. Okay? But, like, the orthodontist that I had, I swear to God, every single time I had an appointment with him, which was many, he always smelled like, and by the way, he looked like he was like David Cross, but he was like 84 years old. He had nose hairs that stuck out to his lips, and then he would always, and I swear to God, it was always my appointments. I swear he just stepped out to have a cigarette and a cup of coffee. So every time he would come in, be like, "All right, let me look at that," and he'd get like 3 inches away from my mouth and nose, just coffee and cigarettes all up in my nose, man.
Yeah, dude, it's disheartening when you've got a dental worker that has bad breath.
Oh God.
Like my dentist who did my last root canal, he like had bad breath. So he's over here digging the file up in the tooth, you know, the hand file.
Yeah.
And like I'm just like, dude, how the fuck do you have bad breath? You're a dentist. Like, this is fucked up.
Well, hey, I mean, I got a question for you though. Did you have dental insurance?
Of course.
Okay, that's good, because if you didn't, you might be broke going to the dentist or having to go to the dentist. But I think we know somebody who can help with that problem. So if you're not good with money and you just need a little helping hand trying to get those finances in order, go see our girl Leilani.
That's right. Leilani Mosinski, financial professional. Dial 510-571-7215. Or you can email at Leilani, that is leiloni.wfg@gmail.com. License number 0M14654 at www.wfgconnects.com/LeilaniM. She will give you free financial classes. She teach you about tax-free retirement, small business exit strategies, saving for retirement, money management, and the benefits of financial freedom, which are all things that your old buddy Lunchbox has been digging into this year. And though I have not utilized Leilani's services yet, I have financial professionals in my corner, and this is a service that so many people don't understand, don't know about, and really need to learn, because right now a lot of us are just swimming, working hard, spending our money, not getting ahead in life. She can teach you the ropes on how to get ahead and knock out financial debt.
That is right, and she is also an official sponsor of Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box. So go get your finances fixed and tell her we sent you.
Please do.
Absolutely. So with that being said, also I want you to pay attention to the shirt that I'm wearing right now. I, the boss, Brandon Blacker, am an official affiliate to this clothing company. They are called Hauntless. You can find them at hauntless.com. And if you go over there and type in I am the boss, you will get a nice little discount to your purchase. So go check out hauntless.com. They specialize in horror, gothic, and heavy metal type of clothing. So go check them out. Go get your order in and use discount code I am the boss.
Brandon got so excited he fucked up our live feed.
You know what? It actually wasn't me. You know, we have the Halloween ghosts coming in to fuck it up for us.
That we do. And next week we have Devil's Night, where we will be doing our favorite kills from horror movies. So if you can think of your favorite kills, go ahead and DM them to us. And who knows, if we agree, we'll let everybody know that not only is this a boss or a box favorite, but it is one of your favorites, because all 6 of our listeners mean the world to us. Because without y'all, we'd just be talking to each other.
Yeah, and, you know, maybe next week those 6 listeners will be 66 listeners. But either way, we love you all. Now, nice shout out to Jordan Harrison, Tristan Wood, Lenny, Mr. Mike Vanek. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already, he gave me something to say here. Yeah.
Why would he give you something to say?
He gave me something to say.
You're a dick, Mike Vanek. Send it to the spokesman.
Oh, I'm in the wrong chat. I've got like 9 chats. Hold on, I'll get there. You know, it's very important to have your stuff organized when you do things. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm not where I need to be.
Unfortunately, we don't.
Switch accounts. Okay, there we go. I am sorry. So, if you haven't seen it already, Mr. Mike Vanek has actually done a write-up for Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box, and you can find that. Let's see, where is it? You can find that on his blog. You could find that, the links on Mike Vanek Sucks, and that's facebook.com/Mike Vanek Sucks. And, it's also, www.mikevaneksucks.blogspot.com, and you can find his brand new blog that he is doing for the Central Valley and other things. But he gave us a nice, awesome write-up. So thank you so much, Mike Vanek. Go buy his merch as well. He has some awesome t-shirts that says Mike Vanek sucks. So if you feel like being self-deprecating or just a little annoying, wear his t-shirts.
Or if you yourself believe that Mike Vanek sucks, but Ida's cool, go buy Mike Vanek Sucks gear. He is the death metal life coach, and you too can look like him if you follow the 4 simple steps of starve yourself, get plenty of exercise, and starve yourself.
So before we get to our main topic, which is terrible, funny, ridiculous, crazy, whatever work experiences part 2. Jordan Harrison did ask us a question, though. She did ask us on the topic of killers, who are our...
Fictional or movie?
What's that?
I'm sorry, fictional or real?
I'm thinking fictional.
Serial killers fascinate me.
Oh, me too. I'm right there with you. I got serial killer coffee table books, and I love that shit.
Same.
You know who else loves that shit more than I do, though, is Heather. My lovely, wonderful, beautiful, amazing, and all that jazz.
And
fiance.
Deadly
fiance. Like, I'm pretty sure she can kill me with an eyelash. She's that dangerous, so. But you know what? Like, in terms of fictional killers, like, I think everybody might know my favorite. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, got my little friend here. Little friend here. My little friend Chucky is my favorite fictional killer. The reason for that is because, he's cynical, he's sarcastic, he's got that dark humor, and most of what he does makes sense. Even though he's a killer doll trapped in a body. I don't have to go into full context about it. I just think he's hilarious, and I relate to him a little bit. So, I like Chucky. Chucky's my boy.
I gotcha. By the way, Mike Vanek, we are going on after the Hat Riot show. So make sure you do watch the Hatriot live stream and then come right on back to watch Talking Shop with the Boss on the Blocks next week.
Actually, correction, the Hat Riot show is on the 30th, not tomorrow.
No, that's what we were talking about. I was telling him come on by for Devil's Night.
Oh, I see. Yes.
On the 30th.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, it's at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yes.
Currently, we're still planned for 10:30, but with my new job, we may be starting a little earlier.
Yeah, so we might have a change in format. There's a good chance that Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box may start a bit earlier in the day, so we can get more of you in here and less of you degenerates trying to join us at midnight.
We may be moving to prime time, ladies and gentlemen. Prime time.
That's right. So, who is your favorite fictional killer before we move on to our terrible work stories part 2?
I almost feel like we should have laid down some ground rules, because if we were going with killers, I feel like they should have been more human-esque. Okay. Which you already went with the voodoo-possessed doll, so I'm going to go with Tim Curry's Pennywise, the original.
Oh, I like that.
And, yeah, I mean, beat Richie.
And I have to agree, Tim Curry as Pennywise, and don't get me wrong, I did thoroughly enjoy the remix. I liked him, but there was something creepier about Tim Curry as the clown, and I can't put my finger on why, but it was just done way better.
Okay, here's the way I always looked at it with It, because It is my favorite horror movie and horror franchise. That is my shit. It's one of my favorite books. It's the 90s TV. What they didn't call it a miniseries was the term that they used for it. Is what gave me my what kind of pushed me into being a horror fanatic. It's my personal favorite. Tim Curry's the man, and I just really appreciated the fact that if you were to look at Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, you would not go near that clown. That is a horrifying looking clown. He's not funny. He's not. He's fucking creepy.
Yes, he is.
Whereas the original Pennywise, as a kid, you would come to him. You know, that's just a normal clown with a red balloon. So, and it's not till you get up close and he's charmed you and it's too late and he rips your arm off that you're dead. So.
Yeah, man. Totally agree. I had a comment. I totally forgot what the comment was. So that doesn't matter. What does matter is these crazy, ridiculous, terrible, whatever you want to call it. That we run the gamut of stories all over the place, from sad to hilarious to just awful situations. Like, we are reading stories from ourselves and other people as well. So, you know, if you tuned in last week, which most of you did, you would know a thing or two about a thing or two. So we have a little more of the same tonight. It's going to be fun. But, like, you know, I realized listening back to the episode, we didn't get a whole lot of stories from you, Lunchbox.
No, actually, we did not, because I was taking it as more of a listener episode.
Well, now we're going to gauge. Mr. Lunchbox, do you have any terrible or funny or crazy, ridiculous work experience stories?
Okay, so I'm going to throw down two from my graveyard days at Valero, both kind of quick.
Yeah.
So there was the positive one, which was, as you all know, I used to be in a band called Brutal Innocence. And one of our shticks was we played every midnight release of Modern Warfare for GameStop. So,
that's cool.
You know, we would go out there and we'd play in the parking lot. And we actually had really great reactions. The first time I almost got in a fist fight with some fucking some small dick fucking wannabe lifted truck driving his daddy's four-wheeler. And I backed him down in front of a bunch of gamers because he thought he was going to come out there and pick on a bunch of gamers. And he didn't realize he ran into the sharpest tongue in the city of Los Banos. So I kind of ran him down, embarrassed him, and gave him that final line, which was maybe he shouldn't be driving his daddy's truck around with his girlfriend in it trying to punk gamers, and stood my ground, and he walked away, which proved he was never getting out to fight. He just thought he was going to do shit. But the following year was a lot easier. We didn't block off the parking lot. We played, did our thing, and over off to the side, there was this group of fucking vatos. Some straight up norteños out there, drinking beer, smoking weed, like doing all the things vatos do, and they're over off to the side of where I'm drumming, and they kept asking me, they're like, you want a beer? I'm like, yeah, you know I want a beer. And so they give me a beer, and we're sitting there BSing, and I finished my set, and they're like, dude, you want a bump? And I'm like, no, not my bag. And then they're like, hey, we got a party with some strippers next week, you guys want to play? And, you know, I was like, here's my number, call me. They never did. Well, 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm working at Valero. And at 12:46, this whole squad of gangsters comes running in. And they start BSing with me. And they're like, hey, you're that guy in that band. And I'm like, I'm a guy in a band, yes. And they're like, no, you play GameStop, right? And they pull out their phones and they show me videos of me playing the show a couple weeks prior. And I'm just like, dude, this is badass. And we talked till like 12:40 or 12:55, and I'm like, this is at like 1:46, and you know, beer time's at 2:00. And so I'm like, yo, y'all got to get your beers and fucking hurry up, you know, otherwise I can't sell them to you. So we get their beers and we hang out, and they show me like a whole video of my own set while we're standing out front, and they're cracking beers, and I'm not supposed to let them do it on the property, but fuck it. They're showing me videos of me, and
what are you gonna tell
so
them,
I'm
no?
smoking weed. I'm smoking weed with them on camera. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's like, what are you gonna tell them? No, right? Like, even though they're having a good time, you come out there and you're like, no, you gotta go. You're just gonna completely ruin the vibe altogether.
Well, and like I said, fuck it. You know, when they spend this, I mean, dude, they spent like $200 right then and there.
Oh, they deserved it. They deserved it.
Yeah, they got sucked up to party on my behalf, and were sitting there telling me how badass I was. So, no, I certainly wasn't going to shut them down. So, believe it or not, this next story comes from the same night. So, guy comes in. He's clearly pretty drunk. He doesn't buy beer. I don't sell him beer. It's after 2. And he comes in and he buys, I want to say, I don't remember the exact amount, but either way, I accidentally, one of my other buddies comes in and is talking to me while I'm finishing my transaction, and I give the guy the change, but I forget to give him his bill, which is a $5 bill.
Yeah.
He comes back in, and immediately, as soon as he comes back in, I just know, dude, I shorted you, my bad, here you go. So I give him his $5, and he turns and he gets halfway out the door. And then he's like, what the fuck, you trying to short me? I'm like, no, dude, I made a mistake. I corrected it before you even brought it up. And he's like, well, no, fuck, a $5 fucking mistake? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I messed up, my bad. And he's just like, no, fuck that, dude, you have to, like, I'll beat your ass, I ain't no fucking punk. And I'm just like, you know what, clearly you are. Because you're coming in yelling at me across the counter, standing out of arm's reach, and I apologize, made it right, and here you go, trying to be a dick because there's somebody else here. So why don't you just go ahead and go fishing and shut the fuck up? And he fucking gets his hand up like he's going to do something about it and walks out the door.
And if you guys like any of these stories, please comment in the chat. Give us your comments, good or bad. We want to react to your comments. This is what this show is all about. Reacting to shit, whether it's our stories, your comments, whatever. And if you have additional stories as well, type them in the chat and we'll read them here. So
yeah, or if you got us on Facebook and you don't want it in the chat, you want it to be a surprise, shoot a DM.
Absolutely. So don't be shy, guys. You know.
All right, Brandon. So what you got?
Okay, so speaking of like GameStop, and I actually wrote down a plethora of stories for myself tonight, just in case. But you're talking about GameStop, and like how I mentioned last week, I worked at GameStop for about 2 or 3 years as a store manager. But at the time, I was an assistant store manager, and my store manager at the time told us if somebody leaves games behind, like it misses the inventory count, or like because throughout the day, sometimes the barcode scanner doesn't pick up the barcodes. So like when they're trading in like a stack of games, where our store was in the ghetto, man. So we would have individuals bringing in like 40 or 50 of the same game title still in shrink wrap to trade in. And,
oh shit!
Oh, no, happened all the time, man. So they would trade them in, and they're like brand new, so we'd have to open them up once we get them. But like as we're scanning the barcodes, sometimes the scanner wouldn't like scan every single game. So at the end of the transaction, there might be 1 or 2 of the games that never got scanned and never got picked up on the receipt of the system. So my manager's like, well, if you want the game, go ahead and save it. Put it in a cabinet and wait a week. If nobody comes by to get it, you can take it. All right? Well, about 6 months goes on, and this happens a lot. And by the truth of God, it never happened on purpose. It never happened on purpose. It just faulty barcode scanner, whatever. We have a lot of missing games, and it was me and 2 other associates just kind of like, hey man, do you like this game? Here, you take this game. We don't need to put it in stock. So about 6 months goes by, and we start to like accumulate games, and we'll trade in games for money or towards other games and generate credit towards things that we actually want using those games.
Right.
So,
not only a worker, also a client.
Yeah, exactly. So one day, one of my associates, I was doing my inventory stock check, and I realized there was a PSP that was missing. I was like, oh shit. So we're scouring the store. Like I said last week, my district manager is an asshole. And so he's a bit of a dick. So because of something like that, like a PSP at the time was like $169 or some shit like that. So it was expensive. So I had to inform him, like, look, we're missing this thing. So what do we do? And he's like, okay, well, figure it out, but we have to do a loss prevention audit check. I was like, fuck, okay, sure, no problem. So he comes in, well, they call him to come in, and I'm calling the associates, blah, 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 blah. One of my associates, halfway through the day, comes clean. He's like, all right, look, I'm sorry. I took the PSP, okay? I'll give it back. It's no problem. But I know I'm fired. I'm like, yeah, you gotta be mad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fired, dude.
Yeah. So we fired him, but my district manager said, well, it doesn't matter. We're still having loss prevention come in and do an audit anyways because he needs to. Like,
Right. Well, if nothing else, I mean, if he got away with it once, he might be trying to. Okay, I know I did this, but let me try and get it. Let me try and come clean, and hopefully you all don't notice the rest of everything I stole from you.
yeah, okay. So, and that's exactly what happened. So, as the loss prevention LP came in, like he's going over receipts and he's going over transactions, and then he's going employee by employee by employee, checking out all the employee transactions, and he's calling us in the back, going, "Yo, so in this transaction, we have a trade-in of Game Boy Advance game, PlayStation 2 game, PlayStation 3 game, Xbox 360 game, a Wii game. Why are you doing this? How are you getting these games? So on and so forth." And I was like, I own a lot of systems. What could I say? And he's like, uh-huh. And then one of the other associates came clean and was like, okay, so the previous manager that we had at the time told us we could do this, what I mentioned earlier. And he goes, aha. So 2 days later, they fired all but 4 of us. They fired 4 of us for theft.
Ouch.
Yeah, and it was misguided, man. We knew it was kind of wrong, but at the same time, we didn't think we were actually doing anything wrong because we were bringing the revenue back into the store. Because the store looks at numbers, so we were still trading in games and using credit as opposed to like actually taking money and stuff like that. So, I don't know. It was a shitty situation.
These games were unaccounted for, so then you use them to account for
yes.
the 82 cents or whatever that they were worth it as a trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck GameStop.
and fuck GameStop. I agree.
Yeah, they get no sympathy from me.
No, they're not a good company. The company is run really badly, even back then, and I still have friends who work there, and they say it's still a fucking train wreck.
Yep. So fuck them too.
Yeah, fuck them too. But dude, like, so that happened. GameStop was a nice little whirlwind, but I've had many jobs in my illustrious careers.
Yes, you have.
And
you got your next one loaded?
I do. So, the very first week of being an EMT. Okay, so when you so people, just to kind of preface it a little bit, so people know, when you're an EMT, if you're a regular EMT, the only things you're really allowed to do is take vital signs and give oxygen and help people administer medication. You're not allowed to give medication. You're not allowed to do any of that stuff. You can help splint like broken legs or bones. You can bandage up cuts and things like that. But there's not much else you could do other than stabilizing like a neck or something. Well, in this particular case, and my point to that is, like, most EMTs are almost worthless. They just know the basic bare bones of what is needed in order to treat a minor injury, okay?
Right.
So one day, in my very first week of being an EMT, I'm still learning the ropes. I've had relatively uneventful calls where it's mostly just me taking vital signs of 68-year-old women getting carted off to dialysis centers. Pretty boring stuff, man. But we get a call to an apartment building out in, where was I? I think like either Pleasant Hill or Fairfield. I don't remember what city it was, but to an apartment building where somebody needs a bariatric lift. Do you know what that is?
I've got a rough idea, but for those who don't, go ahead and explain it real quick.
Okay, so a bariatric lift just basically means we need help lifting a fat ass. And that's literally what that means. Yeah.
Okay.
So
bigger people need help.
Bigger people need help. And we get to the place and we are informed that this individual is on the 3rd story of an apartment building. And this individual also weighs 700 pounds.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man. So we get up there, and the protocol is that I think there was, if I had to guesstimate, there was at least like 12 firefighters and maybe like 5 or 6 EMTs and paramedics. And they had to call in a bariatric unit, which basically is just a much larger ambulance to come in to transport this individual. This was just a routine visit. All of these people had to come to this individual's apartment on the 3rd story so they could carry him out for a doctor's appointment.
Okay.
And, as we're getting this person ready, no lie, as we're turning him over, he shits his pants. And there's nothing we can do about it. Like,
well, what did you want to do?
I didn't want to do anything. Like, we turn him over because we have to get the tarp thing that they have to lift these individuals, and as we turn him over, we just hear a and he shits his pants. And we're like, oh no. And he goes, and he turns to us and says, oh, I'm sorry. I'm this big because I have a gland disorder. And I shit you not, literally, as we are carrying him out of his apartment, step by step, by damn step, you can see his refrigerator. And like we all do, most of us do, on a refrigerator, we keep our cereal boxes.
Right.
This guy had no less than 40 boxes of Frosted Flakes on top of his fridge.
Different brands, or was it just Tony the Tiger staring at you?
Just Tony the Tiger, man.
Was it great?
It wasn't great. But, like, yeah, and he's like, oh, it's a gland disorder. I'm not, I eat very healthy. Really? You got 40 boxes of Frosted Flakes, man. I beg to differ.
Hey, man, Frosted Flakes are good for you.
In what country?
This one. Just everything in moderation, Mr. Blacker.
Well, that is true. But do you want to hear about my second week on the job? My second week of being an EMT was also me doing something that I probably shouldn't have been doing or whatever. I was called to a pedestrian versus auto vehicle auto motorist accident. Excuse me.
In layman speak, someone got hit by a car.
Absolutely. And when I say somebody got hit by a car, somebody got hit by many cars.
Oh, shit!
Yeah. This was a rough day. So my position on this job for this call was clearly to just walk around and cover up body parts. And when I mean body parts, I mean there was
Parts of the body.
Well, hold on.
Like,
Well, hold on. I had to walk around and cover up a part of an arm, which I thought was. I had to cover up like a part of a leg. I found a hand. I had to cover these parts up so the oncoming motorist didn't see these things. And then like I saw the head. The head was it just looked like it was. It's hard to imagine, man. I don't know what this person was thinking. I later found out this person was a transient that was just drugged out and wandering on the freeway. So these cars hit this individual going 60, 70, 80 miles per hour and just exploded this person. My God, man. You want to talk about horrific images? Like, scary movies do not do real life justice.
no, dude, this is supposed to be Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box, not Rotten.com. Fuck. You're bringing me down.
Hey, man, these stories are going to run the gamut of every emotion. Like,
No, we're a comedy show.
No, not everything can be funny, man. Get over yourself.
Oh, I disagree with that.
Get over yourself, Lunchbox, because there is some true life shit that happens on jobs. And remember, this is terrible work stories. So not everything terrible can be funny.
Not when you approach it like that, it can't be. But I digress. Let's return to the world of fecal matter.
All right, get it.
This one comes from one of my favorite people out there, the lovely Ellie Von Grimm, who is a singer in a new band. Hopefully, we're going to be the first to exclusively debut their new song. I'm working on that. But so Ellie runs a Hobby Lobby. She was called into the bathroom because apparently an older lady had shat everywhere and was unable to get up on her own power.
Oh, no.
So she goes in there, checks on her, talks to her for a minute. She's very apologetic. There's shit everywhere. And she pulls the hazard card. Like, now this is a hazardous material. I'm not hazmat trained. Not doing it. So she takes the old lady out, and the old lady asks her, hey, would you wait with me for a little while in order to, I'm waiting on a ride, and I'm kind of scared to be outside alone on the bench. So Ellie goes out there with her on the bench, and it turns out this lady was a Navy veteran. Oh. And she proceeds to tell Ellie about her stories of traveling the world and spends a good 30, 40 minutes waiting for a taxi and just gives her all sorts of cool stories about going around the world in the Navy.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Dude.
I wanted to bring it back to something positive.
Dude, that poor lady, man.
That poor lady, but in the end, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it went from a literally shitty experience to, from one end, a person getting to hear all these cool stories, and, man, I don't give a fuck. Like, one of my favorite things to do is listen to older people regale me with stories from their years because, man, I've been told that I've got an interesting life and have a lot of interesting stories, mostly by you. And
so I'm a sucker like that.
I'm not even 40 years old. I have the text, motherfucker. Like, I'm only 40, and I didn't join the military, and I didn't travel the world. So these people that are pushing, the 8th decade of their life, they've got some cool stories. And to go from a sucky situation like that, where as somebody who's had to clean up more shit than I care to admit for not being a plumber, despite the fact my ass crack's eternally hanging out, it really makes me feel good to hear that it turned into something positive and something cool.
Yeah. Okay. Like, and speaking of like sucky situations, so my friend Jamie Franzen, she sent me this story that I'd like to read that is just all sorts of fucked up for her. Like, she says that, so I started at this company. This guy told me each project we had to do one of two categories. We had 5 huge cabinets, and he wanted me to go through them and see how they were set up. So he gives me about a day, then tells me he wants me to go through and look for things that are filed wrong. So then, if I asked him a question, he'd tell me he's busy and I need to figure it out and not be so stupid. You know,
Fuck.
That's something nobody should ever do on the job. This is also the guy who hired me and another guy at the same time. This is at a building where no one will come into the building. I'm just running the office and answering phones. He comes in every Saturday. He comes in and says jeans and t-shirts. T-shirts are nice. I think I'm reading that right. Tells me there's no dress code, so I modeled my wardrobe after him. So so she says that he just comes in jeans and t-shirts, kind of being sloppily. He pulls me to the side one day and tells me that I need to wear slacks and heels or dress. Wait, what? He needs to wear says that I need to wear slacks and heels or wear a dress and heels, and continues to dress the same way that he normally dresses. So like a dummy, I did it. I went out and spent like $500 on new clothes that night. The next day, I'm walking slow because heels are something I'm not used to. So he paraded me around in front of some people picking up mail and then berated me for walking slowly. I was told I'd be working with Farmers Insurance, and then got shoved into an office, called stupid daily, and then fired. Another lady took over after he left, found drafts of the shit that I've done, like 2 years later, and called to try to hire me back because my writing was so good. I was always afraid I'd get fired, so I took it, and then got fired anyways. Damn.
Oof.
What a fucking sucky situation, man.
That does suck.
Like, especially as a female, for any like chauvinistic male, which it sounds like it was, to come in and just be like, all right, well, you got to wear a dress and heels or slacks and heels. You're not allowed to wear anything else, and you need to look this certain way, and then show up basically just wearing sweatpants or your Sunday morning attire to work. That's some shitty shit.
Yeah, no shit. Like, I understand if there's a dress code of, formal, casual business or formal business even.
Yeah.
And everybody has to adhere to it, because it is weird to walk into a place where you've got shirts and ties, nice dresses, shirts and ties, slacks and a suit, shirts and ties, and then homeboy over there sitting there in a muumuu. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But, no, it sounds like this place fucking sucked, and I hope they got what was coming to them.
Okay, yeah, I had to keep pausing because we kept getting messages in the DM, so they kept covering my text. So
I noticed.
I
was wondering, we kept freezing.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on. So, anyways, man, so that was Jamie Franzen's story, and fuck that guy, all the way.
I actually have another, not chauvinistic, but similar bad story from another company.
Give it to me.
This one comes from a friend of the show, Mandy Allgood. Yeah.
I haven't seen her in a
Mandy,
while. I hope she's well.
She's doing well. Actually, she's doing outstandingly well. She's getting all buff and fucking, still running around posting the most misogynistic memes any woman I know has ever posted. Like, Mandy Allgood's a fucking treasure, dude. And she writes in that she went from being an amazing employee to being asked by the VP, do you even still want to work here? Funny thing is, no one would tell her what the fucking problem was. One manager she talked to and tried to find out said no one had anything bad to say about her work. It was her personality. Well, she's like, well, if my work's great and you don't like me, that's not my problem. I was in the process of waiting on an offer letter from a better company and more pay when they laid her off. So they went ahead and let her go, and she got 2 weeks severance and gave her 2 weeks paid vacation before starting at the new place. And since then, so many loyal people have left. started in a garage and is now a $40 million company. But the people running it now are running it into a shit show and running it into the ground. They haven't even gotten a new job since COVID hit. And she is another purveyor of positivity like your boy here. So her response was, and that story just goes to show you that everything works out if you stay positive.
Well, that's right. The power of positivity, as the New Day would say. Rest in peace.
Well, we know too soon. Too soon. Not ready.
Yeah, like, dude, okay, so we also have one from, Cobra? Cobra Stephen Lopez.
Yes, I know Cobra.
So,
that's why he was calling me the other night.
Why didn't you read my thing?
I'm Cobra with my awesome mullet. You didn't call me back.
Let's see if I can translate this chicken scratch to see.
All right, you gotta try and do it in Cobra voice too.
I actually don't know Cobra.
Have to.
But he seems like a nice guy, though.
You've met Cobra. I know you've met Cobra, bro.
Okay, so Cobra says, worst work story. Did security for Mac Dre show. I was the only one doing my job. The promoter hired all of his buddies that were bouncers at some crappy nightclub. While they're in the show, I'm in front of the building. Dude walks out from the back with his head busted open from a high liquor bottle, saying he's all right, walking from the building. Mind you, his buddies are back there, and I find out later that they're all trying to get their dicks wet and not doing their jobs. So I'm the only one out here trying to keep people from Mac Dre's homies, hitting on his baby mama. I'm sorry. Much love to you, Cobra. I'm literally reading this word for word what you sent me. So
please keep going.
No, that's it.
I'm sorry that's over, dude. That was just the best thing ever. Oh my God. Bless you, Cobra. For having a quotable voice. It's like when you tell a Mike Vanek story, you gotta impersonate Mike Vanek, brother.
Oh no, we got fighting words actually. Mike Vanek says fuck Cobra.
You know what? Cobra's a polarizing cat. I do like the guy. I've had my moments with the guy where, we've had our disagreements and we've gotten to some shouting matches here and there. But in the end, he's a decent cat. He's, like I said, I got love for the guy, but there are some people like Roy Stanley, where if you told me you didn't like Roy Stanley, I'd probably smack you. Because how you not going to like the nicest guy in the Central Valley? Like,
I mean,
harsh.
I would like him more if he knew how to turn off his capitalization button.
Hey, don't fuck with Roy's God voice, okay? but Roy Stanley, like I said, that's somebody that if you told me you didn't like, dude, we have a problem right then and there. What's your fucking beef? But if you were to turn around and tell me that you didn't really like Cobra, or hell, if you didn't even really like my singer JoJo, my question would be, okay, why? Like, I understand, but I want to know. Curiosity's got the better of me.
Okay, so...
It's like telling me you don't like ICP. I understand.
Well, it takes a select few to like ICP. And we're one of them.
Two of them, Brandon. We're two.
I don't know.
There's two.
I'm drunk right now. I haven't had dinner since 5:30, and I'm drinking on a relatively empty stomach, so I'm drunk right now.
That was me last week. like last week, I was pretty hammed by Showtime, so my apologies. But it made for a better show than I thought. I woke up the next morning embarrassed and thought I was bullshit. My primo Jim, I ran into him the other day, and he told me that he really loved that episode, and that from the first story on, him and his wife were dying laughing. So Okay, mission accomplished. I guess that was the way to go.
All right, hey, so this next story comes from another friend of mine, Janine Petticord. She had kind of a okay. So I'm gonna do my best here to decipher chicken scratch. So this comes from Janine.
Are these people handwriting you letters? Did they send a homing pigeon?
Hey,
like,
man.
what the fuck? Why is it? What do you mean by chicken scratchers? Do they have autocorrect syndrome?
Hey, it's written in calligraphy. Okay, so I have to figure this out.
The calligrapher walks among us, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
All right, so Janine, also known as Ben Franklin.
What? Can you give some backstory on that before we move forward?
No, I was relating it to calligraphy. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
So she.
I'm sorry, I'm not hip on my calligraphy jokes.
Hey man, you gotta bring that back to 1649, okay?
Hey, my cartography and map jokes are on point, but
yeah,
calligraphy is not my gig.
You would be better at that than I would, definitely. Janine writes to us and she says, at my current job, about 2 years ago on Thanksgiving, I was called in to cover a security officer at his post. Mind you, I have no guard card. By the way, she's a, oh my god. I'm so drunk right now. She's that person that you call and they pick up when you call 911, stuff like that. Dispatcher, thank you. She's a dispatcher. Mind you, I have no guard card, but it was a fire watch for a property with their electrical under maintenance, and my only job is to make sure the building doesn't catch on fire. So I'm like, cool. Let me set the mood. It's a graveyard shift at a closed assisted living home. Oh, okay, so I guess it's a different job. It's like 2 a.m. All of a sudden, we lose power in the building. I'm like in the middle of this place, and now I'm lost and it's dark. I have no flashlight, and I'm freaking out. My phone gets no signal, and I cannot call dispatch. I'm feeling like I'm in a horror movie at this point, wandering around looking for the exit. The guards have also said that this place is haunted and gets creepy at nighttime.
Really? Phone signal goes out, lights turn off, like power just shuts off. Now you wander into the dark, then they tell you it's haunted, and now you're like, yeah, it's kind of creepy. No shit.
No shit. So I'm hearing noises, and I'm getting ready and to just jump out of the window. I'm so creeped out. So after about 45 minutes, I finally found the stairs. Hallelujah. I get all the way to the exit door and realize since the power is out, the auto locks won't open the door. Fuck. I got another 3 hours on my shift left, and the power is still out. Top it all off, a homeless guy gets in a parking lot and sees me in the lobby. He sees I can't get out and laughs at me and then falls asleep in front of the door. The admin staff had to call maintenance in the morning to let me out. Oh, and by this point, I had been holding my pee for 3 hours because I couldn't find a bathroom in the dark.
Oh, fuck. See, you see what I mean, Brandon? It could always be funny.
Oh, my God. We should have read that last week. That was good.
No. We needed some highlights, dude. Like, I wanted to give you the speech on you got to learn how to stack the bill. Because when you open the show with getting chased by a jizz-covered man, we're just never going to beat that. Like, oh my God. Like, we should have just rolled credits and told every other story this week. Because we weren't touching that.
Okay, so, I mean, speaking of that, so, the jizz-covered man. Working in that group home that I worked in, I think I was there about 2 years. And... before I get into that, okay, so we have who is that? Ren Gars.
Hey, what's up, Alexis?
Okay, that's Alexis. So she writes in, before I get into my story, she writes in, she says, once upon a time, when I was working at Pizza Hut, we got a somewhat drunk guy calling asking for medium stuffed crust. Not possible because of the quality control and some other reasons my manager came up with. This guy is bickering back and forth. And my shift manager was a teeny 4'11" girl, and she's just calmly telling him no. This guy starts getting loud and shouts, "Shove it up your miserable pussy." And my manager just quickly goes, "Whoa, okay. Finn, what's up? My story is dumb."
No, your story is exactly what we're after.
Shove it up your pussy.
Your miserable pussy.
Your miserable pussy.
Yeah, that adjective matters on that one, dude. Fuck.
Oh man.
I'm gonna use that one in my next argument.
Shove that up your miserable pussy.
Like, I'm gonna tell JoJo that tomorrow with the pandemic.
Can I tell him too?
You know what? Let's work on that, because that creepy bastard might be around here somewhere. He might watch this in the morning.
Yeah, right. You know he's not waking up till 2.
No, JoJo wakes up at like 5, dude. He's got 5 fucking kids.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have 5 at home anymore, but he raised 5 kids. He gets up early.
Well, you know the math when you have kids, right? So when you have 1 kid, you're automatically getting up 2 hours earlier. So when you have 2 kids, you're getting up 4 hours earlier, and so on and so forth. So yeah, he's waking up pretty fucking early.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, I used to show it when on my days off, I'd just go and drop Jen off at work in Modesto. And when I have nothing better to do, I just go knock on JoJo's door because I knew he'd be up. So 7:30 in the morning, I'd knock on the door, and his rule was as long as I got pants, I'll answer. And luckily, he always had pants. Actually, there was 1 or 2 times he opened the door without pants. But, you know, and he'd tell me to sit down at his computer, and we'd bullshit and roll a joint and, you know, shit. I think that's how I kind of wound up in the band. Like, I think after he realized I just show up and hang out like that, he just, I gotta have this guy.
It's like, he ain't going nowhere. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, he's here. Shit. I have the most long-winded story that we got.
Get it.
Hang on. I gotta get back to it.
All right,
so Jordan, please relax on the messaging in the middle of the show. We have to focus on 2 things at once, sweetheart.
So let me tell my short story first, and then you can go into your.
All right, I got it ready, but go ahead.
All right, so working at that group home, you know, back from last week's episode about the autistic man covered in jizz chasing me around the house. So
he has a name.
His name is Dougie. Dougie. And that's verbatim. We're not actually making fun of him. That is actually how he sounded.
Hey, don't lump me in with you. You're not making fun of him.
All right, fair enough. So another individual in this.
Like, I'm not either, but I'm just saying you were the one saying Dougie.
There was another individual in this household, a wonderful, petite, little old woman. Her name was Sherry. And, you know, much like the Dougie story, but in this situation, everybody had gone to bed, and Sherry wanted to stay up a little bit later and watch some TV. So I'm hanging out with Sherry. She's sitting on one end of the couch. I'm sitting on the other. And I'm flipping through channels. And she says, "Oh, wait, stop." And mind you, just again, just to preface it, these are all, you know, individuals on the spectrum. They have some form of autism or some learning disability or whatever. Sherry was a little slow. That was just kind of her thing. She was just slow in reacting, slow into talking, that kind of thing. So she was like, okay, stop. So I stopped on a channel, and it was a stand-up episode with Wanda Sykes. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I stop on the episode, and we watch about 5 or 10 minutes of Wanda Sykes doing a stand-up comedy. And then Sherry slowly turns to me, and she goes, Brandon, what is that? I go, Sherry, what is what? And she turns and she stares at the TV and she goes, that. I go, the person? Or I go, no, the woman? And she turns to me again and goes, that's a woman?
Shit.
I go, yeah. And I go, yes, it is. That's a woman. And she goes, oh. She goes, can you turn the channel? Okay.
I'm a fan of Wanda Sykes, but damn.
Okay, that's the story. That's the story.
All right, this one comes all the way from Modesto, California, from our good buddy of the show, Brockelstein.
Ah, okay, here we go.
That's Brock Wiley, who I'm hoping is watching the show at Deux right now. You motherfucker. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and post this anyway. Hopefully he'll join in.
Oh, for sure. And
All right.
And I think this is gonna be the last guest story for the night.
All right, fair enough. All right, I'll make this as short-winded as possible, and it's not. I picked up a gig setting up a fashion expo out in one of the piers in San Francisco across Alcatraz. Most of the crew is the local Modesto people, and we have a way about us when we work together. We get shit done. So about 20 of us show up and see two trucks and think, oh, not too bad. We'll rock this, no problem. Immediately, we're separated into two groups. One to the first truck taping floors, and the truck we find out is loaded front to back with small folding tables, little collapsible racks for hanging clothing, and totes upon totes upon totes upon totes of tablecloths. Also, there's no ramp. Inside, where miles of tape has been wasted because the floor was so dirty the cheap white tape would not stick, and we all started being yelled at. Don't know who exactly the yelling was directed at, but the lead started telling shit like fucking idiots, stupid fucks, and oh, did I mention he was a cocky British asshole?
Oh, no.
So, he's like, you stupid folks. You fucking idiots. Once the tape fiasco was resolved, they brought in the second truck. Front to back luggage and suit protectors all piled up with no rhyme or reason. Just complete fuckery. Fast forward a few hours. I've been assembling collapsible racks for a fucking eternity now, trying to avoid anyone I didn't personally know. Potter, those of you from Modesto know Potter, he's about a 3-foot tall, scrawny dude with kind of a southern accent who, well, he's just annoying. Walks up and says, hey, you, go get lunch. He says, Brock said no, what the fuck? Heads over to a table with two completely demolished Subway sub trays with like 3 veggie sandwiches left. I'm cool, whatever, smother it in ranch, scarf it down, go light a cig, walk back to the other end of the pier where I was working. This is where shit got personal. British asshole second in command, some tough guy from Oakland, tells me if I'm not going to get back to work, I can go home. I explained that I had just gotten to eat and planned on jumping back in as soon as I finished my smoke. He told me to put it out and get back to work or leave. I held my tongue and unhappily obliged. We finished the day and were paid in cash in hand, which is why most of us took the job. Came back a few days later and rocked the load out, packed their trucks so much nicer. Really, we wanted to get in and get it done, get it paid, get out. A couple weeks go by, the call comes in for us to come back. The client was so impressed with how well we did on the out, even after expressing a few grievances. A majority of the same crew reluctantly head out again, but this time there were some stipulations. We get our 15-minute breaks and 1 hour walk away for lunch. We show up and get to work. Most of us having already done it made for a much easier time, and both British assholes and tough Oakland guy apologized for last time. We get into taping floors and emptying the trucks, and wouldn't you know, they're just as fucked as last time. It had rained so many tablecloths were moldy, but we're still making it our bitch. Lunch rolls around, they bust out the trusty sub trays. A large group of us went and had pizza, because fuck that shit, bro, we told you. We come back and we wouldn't, you know, the whole four hour for lunch is the most godforsaken thing on the planet. Total different work environment. They were so pissed we actually left for lunch. They don't say anything because we had busted out their shit faster than they expected, so the day continued. We finished way ahead of schedule, collect our pay, and head home. We show up for loadout, and this is where the fun starts. Tough Oakland dude is drunk. It's 6 a.m., bro. What the fuck? He spends the day on the forklift zipping around the warehouse, running into shit, almost hit someone. All bad. We get to the last bit of shit, and Oak Tough Guy flips his shit out on Damien, literally calling him a bitch in front of his wife and saying how we're all lazy piece of shit. all the while blocking the doorway for the rest of us to continue pushing shit to the truck. So I, Brockelstein, step up to dude and sternly but respectfully say, hey, bro, you made your point. Now could you step out of the way so we can finish this shit? Oh, he didn't like that. Jumped in my face, and for a split second, I felt myself grabbing him and throwing him off the pier, but I didn't. He proceeds to basically fire me and Damien, so we walk, and just so happens the majority of the crew rode up in 2 cars. I was in one, Damien in the other, so everyone walked. What would have been maybe 30 minutes of work with all of us was probably more than like 2 hours for them by themselves. Yes, they contacted us a 3rd time to work the event. Some went, but I didn't. And he ends with, sorry, I didn't mean for that to be so long. I probably shouldn't have lit a joint when I started writing it.
That's usually the best, man. As you light a joint. Oh, that's just a cigarette.
That's just a cigarette.
Oh, man. Yeah, that sounds like a shitty day. Sorry about that, Brockelstein.
Thanks for the story, though. That was dope.
Yeah, man. Before we start wrapping up, do you have any other stories you would like to tell about yourself? Because we're still cracking the surface of Lunchbox.
All right, so I'll go back to Burger King, and this one's on me.
And I have a Burger King story as well, so I will conclude with yours.
This is my first legitimate job, right? So they start me as a kitchen worker, broiler guy, whatever. And you worked at Burger King, so you know how they just have one person feeding the broiler for like the whole lunch rush, and then they send you home?
Oh, yeah.
That was me.
Oh.
And then over time, just like anywhere else I work, they realize I'm really good with people. I'm funny. My math skills are up there. So they send me up front and start having me work drive-thru. So I'm in here running the drive-thru, and these guys come in and they get king-sized Cokes. Now, for those of you that haven't been to Burger King in a while, king size used to be the biggest fucking soda out there. It's not anymore. But it used to just be gargantuan. And, of course, cup holders at the time were not up to par like they are now. So I'm leaning out the drive-thru window to hand these 2 super fat dudes, like they make me look like a thin man, out there king-size Diet Cokes to go with their double Whoppers with extra cheese and no vegetables. And the drink carrier splits down the middle.
Oh, no.
Crisscross, splashing. Both these dudes, like, I couldn't have planned it better, throwing it, from opposite arms into opposite sides of their faces. They were cool about it. But it was quite the sight to see, to watch them just kind of jump up into the roof and smack their heads and fucking like start moving hands, knocking the 2 cups all over the place, while this happens to them. The next day, they come back. I didn't realize it was them, and as I hand them their 2 king-size Diet Cokes, I was like, hey, be careful, because yesterday the drink carrier broke, and I got 2 guys, and they were like, that was us.
Oh, no. Oh, my God, dude. Okay. So, Burger King. Okay, so at 17 years old, I was kicked out of my parents' house. I was living with a buddy's family. And at the time, I was working at Subway. I was working at Burger King. I was working at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Also finishing up high school and working all these jobs at once just to, make a fair wage. Well, one day... Oh, wait. No, I'm getting that mixed up. Scratch that. I was working at Burger King and Mountain Mike's Pizza, but I was still living at home at the time. I wasn't kicked out at that point. And it was just one of those nights where my family wasn't home. It was raining cats and dogs. I wasn't driving. So I proceed to set a fire in the fireplace. It's very cold outside. It's wet. And I have a 6 p.m. shift at Burger King. So 5:45 rolls around. I'm like, I'm not going to work. I'm staying home. I'm sick right now. So I call over there and I'm like, hey man, I can't come in. I'm sick. You don't want sick me around the hamburgers and the Whoppers. He's like, oh man, we're getting the dinner rush. We're getting really busy. It could really use you. I'm like, you don't want me there. You don't want. I'm sick. I'm calling in sick. I gotta go. Bye. So I hang up the phone. About 20 more minutes later, it's about 6:10, 6:05, 6:10, whatever. Get another call back. It's like, Brandon, where are you? I'm like, I told you.
I called you.
I'm sick, man. I'm not coming in. You gotta call somebody else. It's like, there is nobody else. You gotta come in. If you don't come in, you'll be fired. I'm like, you can't fire me if I'm sick, man. I'm allowed to have sick time, so I'm calling in sick. And 20 more minutes later, he calls me back, and he's like, look, man, we really need you. We really need you right now. And I'm like, dude, you want me to get sick all over your burgers and fries? That seems like a bad idea. And he's like, look, I'll just put you in a chair and you can sit up at the register and you can just check people in at the register and take their orders. You don't even have to touch food. And I look outside and I look at my my dinner in front of me, which was a brilliantly made grilled cheese sandwich with a bowl of tomato soup and a nice 7-Up on the side. And I look back at my phone. I go, you know what? I quit. He goes, what? I go, sorry, man. I'm trying to save you, man. I'm sick. I can't come in. You're not taking me seriously. I can't keep this job anymore. I quit. He goes, all of a sudden I just hear like a bunch of like cussing and whatever on his end, and the phone hangs up. Like 2 days later, I walk in to collect my final paycheck, and like the lady who wasn't working there, who was the store manager, and mind you, when you look at any 80s movie, there's always some like old, like fat, crotchety woman who looks like she's just been an absolute asshole her entire life. Well, this was this
yes.
woman. This was this woman. And I walk up, I'm like, I'm here to collect my final paycheck. She looks me dead in the eye and she goes, you don't deserve your paycheck.
And you're like, that's not the point. I worked the hours, give me the money. I know I don't deserve it, but give it to me anyway. I earned it.
And I told her, I'm like, well, that's not the game we play, so can I have my paycheck, please, so I can finally get out of your old-ass hair? And she waddles back to her office, grabs me my paycheck, and throws it at me. And I've never been back to that Burger King ever since.
You should go check on her, see if she's still there.
I don't think she is, man. She was almost 70 in 2002 or so. I mean, maybe she
Damn
is.
it.
Who knows? So
you should check.
The moral of the story is, fuck Burger King.
That seems to be the moral of the story.
Yeah. So, do you guys like Burger King? Let us know, because I fucking hate Burger King. I didn't like Burger King when I worked there. I didn't even like Burger King before I worked at Burger King.
You know what? I loved Burger King in high school, and I liked it when I started working there. Now, I have to want Burger King. Like, I have to be like, man, I want a Whopper, or man, I want an Italian chicken sandwich, or, I want zesty onion ring sauce is the most likely culprit.
Yeah. I will say their fries are pretty good, but nothing.
No, they're not.
Nothing compares to McDonald's fries.
I do agree with you that McDonald's has Rallies. Rallies has some knockout-ass fries.
Okay, that's some Central Valley shit, because I'm here from the Bay Area, and we've never heard of a Rallies.
It's funny because I grew up seeing the commercial. We can talk about this in post-production, but I grew up seeing the commercials, and I always wanted it. And then when it opened in Los Banos, I was actually really upset. It sucked. But the fries are really good.
You know what fries I really like though? I really love the Cajun style Five Guys fries.
These are very similar.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
they're very similar.
I'll probably like them then.
Yeah, I disagree. I think Burger King's got some of the worst fries.
Oh, second best, Wendy's for sure.
Oh, you like the big squishy thick cut fries?
Oh yeah, those are pretty good.
Jack in the Box curly fries, man.
Give me that heartburn. I used to like them though. Every single time, any band that I've ever been in would go to a professional studio. It was always the same order. We would go and order like 40 2 for 99-cent tacos and like 3 or 4 large curly fries.
Yeah.
That was always the order.
What else do you need? You get extra ranch.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up.
I'm getting hungry. I'm getting over my drunk, and I'm getting hungry now. I miss Jack in the Box. You know what? I miss Jack in the Box, too. I haven't actually had Jack in the Box in a long time. Mike Vanek says he got busy in a Burger King bathroom. I believe it. He did not. That was Humpty.
Pronounce what a Humpty.
Let's see. Jordan says her dad delivered there once. Mike says Five Guys sucks. No, it doesn't, but it is expensive.
Donald the Duck says BK has great chicken sandwiches. I'll back that up.
That was the one. That was the one thing I would get when
the long chicken sandwich, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, nothing like it.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that has been episode 87 of Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box, part 2 of terrible work stories and situations. So, hope you guys like that. Maybe we'll bring it back eventually. It was so good, we brought it back for 2 episodes. I had a lot of fun.
We just got that many stories.
That was cool. I enjoyed that. I would love to get more stories. And I think we'll think of another topic we can gauge you all on to go over next time. But for next week's episode, what are we doing again?
It's Devil's Night, the night before Halloween. So we are going to go ahead and talk about topic number 1 is our 5 favorite kills from any horror movie. So Brandon and I, being the horror aficionados we are, we have to dig deep. And we ask you guys to do the same. Please stump us. Make us search for something on your list that we can bring up that makes Brandon and me pause and have to mention it.
Yeah, and let us know ahead of time so we can gather material and show it in video form on this podcast. Remember, this is a video show first and an audio show second.
That's right. Video show's Friday night. Audio show Sunday morning.
That's right. So, anyways, this has been episode 87. Join us next week on Devil's Night. And as always, Lunchbox, where can they find you?
You can find me at the Almighty Lunchbox on Instagram. That's Dave Ussery on Facebook. Yep, you can look me up by my real name. I'll talk at you. Stay tuned for Monday Morning Motivations. I got a good one for you guys this week. Also, you can find me at Loser Lunchbox on Twitter, though I'm rarely there. You can find my band, Nothing But Losers, on Facebook, Nothing But Losers on Instagram, and Nothing But Loser, that is no S, on Twitter. Brandon, what about yourself?
And I don't know what just happened there. Anyways, you can find me on Instagram at The Real Brandon Blacker. You can find my band Suburban Paranoia on all social media platforms. Go look up Never Dies on Spotify. Run for Your Lives music video on YouTube. And most importantly, go check out hauntless.com. Wearing the t-shirt here. They got some cool horror t-shirts. And also use promo code I Am The Boss for a nice discount on your purchase. Now, also go check out Mike Vanek Sucks. And where can they find the show?
The show that you are listening to can be found every Friday night, available 10:30 live Pacific Standard Time on YouTube. YouTube. Also look for Talking Shop with the Boss and the Box on Facebook. Don't forget to join the Talking Shop with the Boss and the Box discussion group where we talk shit and shit post all day long. You can find us at Talking Shop with the Boss and the Box on Instagram and talking_shop on Twitter.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, see you next week. And in the meantime, go read the blog from Mike Vanek Sucks at blogspot.com. Good night, everybody, and have a safe and happy week.